Hi to everyone, I'm FIDE Master and FIDE Trainer Sebastian Fell, and today I will show you 5 opening traps that every beginner should know. It's very important to know traps for 2 reasons. One, to avoid losing in 10 moves, and 2, to try to trick your opponent and win a very quick game. We have already seen some matching traps in our previous video, I think a few weeks ago. You can see the video here in the ihs.net YouTube channel. So now I will show you some new traps. First, I would like to share with you a pretty known trap in the bishop opening, one of my favorites opening. This is a4, a5, and bishop c4. This is the bishop opening. This is an opening I have played against many international masters with very good results. I really encourage you to try it, as it's easy to understand and has many traps where you can surprise even very good opponents. I want to show you different openings, so we will only look to one of these surprises. If black tries to copycat white's development with bishop and then with the knight too, then white gets the advantage with queen to g4. White is threatening to take the g7 pawn, obviously, and then perhaps even the rook on h8. Black here probably has to play g6. This is pretty forced, but then he's weakening a lot of dark squares on the king side, where his king will probably castle afterwards. But here the most logical move is queen to f6, and this is the trap indeed. This move not only defends the g7 pawn, but he is also threatening to take the f2 pawn like a scholar's mate. But white has the amazing knight to d5. The knight is obviously threatening the queen, not there, it's better here, and the knight is also threatening a double attack on c7 with check and attacking the rook. This seems pretty logical attacking move, but what about the f2 pawn? Well, obviously black can take it with check, and after the king moves, black has no more checks. This is very important. The bishop is defending the f1 square, and now black is the one who has to defend. He has to defend the c7 pawn and also the g7 pawn. And after both takes, both rooks will be hanging. So black only move is to move the king to defend the pawn, but now the queen on f2 is in danger. After knight here, the queen doesn't have many squares available. In fact, the only move is queen to d4, and then d3, and the queen is trapped. White is simply threatening c3, and the queen is lost. Black can play d6, but then obviously this move is attacking the queen, but the queen can go to f3, and white is also threatening some nasty tricks over f7 with the queen and the bishop. This knight can really move to here or here, and it will threaten the rook, and it will threat also mate on f7. So black is really busted. The most popular move is bishop takes the knight, so now the queen is not trapped. It can go to f2, but the simple rook here, white is threatening mate, and after bishop here, simply c3, and the black queen is lost. So I think this is a pretty amazing trap. It has gave me a lot of easy points in tournament games and in rapid games, in internet online games. So I will I like to share these easy points, so you can also win with that. Okay, this is in fact a complicated trap, so now we can see a less complicated one, but obviously not less beautiful. Let's see the Philidor's defense. The Philidor's defense is after knight here to play d6. This is the Philidor defense. It's a logical move, but it's a bit passive. The idea is obviously to defend the e5 pawn. If white knows what to do, then black has no easy life in the next moves. After d4, knight to defend the a5 pawn, and bishop c4. Black here in fact has many elusive moves. For example, he can't develop the minor pieces on the king side. If black moves these pieces, then he's lost. It seems pretty amazing. If the knight moves, well, here you can pause the video and try to discover how white wins here. Yes, black has a little problem with the f7 pawn. White can play knight here, and this pawn can't be defended. This is causing a lot of trouble to the black pieces. If the bishop takes, then black will have to move the king, and he can't castle anymore. If the knight takes, then the knight will threaten the queen and also the rook, so black is already lost here. But what will happen if the bishop moves? For example, well, the only move is bishop to e7. These moves defends the c5 square, so it avoids these tricks over f7. It's a pretty logical continuation. In fact, many grandmasters, like the former top 10 Miguel Najdorf, played this move, but this loses material. Can you discover how? You can pause the video in 3, 2, 1. Okay, white wins with taking the pawn. If he takes with the pawn, then simply queen d5, and black again can defend the f7 pawn. For example, knight here is answered with bishop takes, and and there's the same threat on f7, and white is a piece up. And taking on e5 with the knight doesn't help neither. Here white simply can take, and now queen to h5. This attacks this pawn and also this pawn, and black can defend both pawns in the same move. So black is losing a pawn. So returning to this position, black can't really move these two pieces, but he can try taking on d4, for example, to take here. But after retaking with the knight, here there is another trap. For example, bishop here, and white is winning again. This seems a little surprising. Can you find why? You can pause the video again and think about this position. Here the problem is again the f7 pawn. Bishop takes the pawn is a crushing move. After taking, simply knight here, but simple, it's not so simple, but this is an extracting combination. The knight is stressing the queen, and it can be taken because if takes, simply check, and this is checkmate. So the queen has to move, but then simply takes the pawn, attacking the queen again, attacking the rook also. So the queen had to move, and white can take the rook. He will be winning, but even better is to give a check with the queen. The king can't go here because this is mate, and so he has to go here, but then this is a double attack. This is check, and white is simply winning the queen. So in fact, it's really difficult to play the fill leader with the black pieces. There are a lot of traps for the black side. Okay, let's look to another opening. This time, this c6. This is the Caro-Kann. After d4, d5. This is the topical, the main moves. The Caro-Kann is a very solid defense. Black has no weakness on his position, so it's not easy for white to get an attack here. If you really like to attack, I suggest you to play the fantasy variation. I don't know why it is called the fantasy variation. If you know, you can comment below and let me know. The fantasy variation is the move f3. The idea is pretty simple: to defend the pawn and to try to create a solid and strong pawn formation in the center with these pawns. In green is better. So here black has a lot of moves. e6 is a good move. g6, even the strange queen b6, I think it's a good option. But all these variations give white an easy play with his strong center and leading development. So there is only one variation to try to destroy the center, and this is to take and then e5. Here black is not only attacking the d4 pawn, but he's also threatening a nasty check, and then to take the pawn on e4. So white has to play knight here to defend the check, and after takes, bishop to c4. And white's idea is to castle short and attack the always weak f7 pawn. So to castle, this is not a castle, to castle, and the rook and the bishop will attack the pawn. And in fact, white has a big development advantage, so it's very easy to create an attack here. White's attack is so powerful that white has many moves that lose here. He has to be very precise to not lose in 4 or 5 moves. There are a lot of traps in this position, but I would like to show you what I think is the most beautiful trap. This is bishop to b4 check. The problem here is that white doesn't have a good way to block the check. Obviously this is impossible, as black will take with the pawn. And to move the knight here, it simply blocks the bishop on c1. This is uncomfortable. So okay, but it's important that you always remember that if you're trying to attack, and this is what white is trying to do here, he has a leading development, then you must attack quickly to get the initiative. And to do that, try to avoid defend passively. Always look for counterattacks. That's a way to get the initiative and get a strong attack. And here the counter-attacking move is simply to play c3, not only defending the check but also attacking the bishop. That's the important thing. So black has to take, and here, okay, you can pause the video and see and try to discover how white wins. This is a tactic we have already seen in a previous video a few weeks ago. White wins with bishop takes check, and if black takes, we can simply take the queen, and okay, we are a queen up. But this is the pretty thing about this trap. Black could have thought about this combination, and in fact perhaps black is setting a trap here, because he can play check. This is important, this is a check with bishop, and if white moves the king simply to take on a1, black recovers the queen, and he has a big material advantage. He has I think a rook, a bishop, and a pawn up, so he's clearly winning material wise. So it seems as white has fallen into a trap, but it's white's turn, and this gives him the initiative. He has in fact a force mate here. We can see the variation is pretty forced. It's a well check. Always try to calculate first the checks, and always try to give check and check and check, and as this is easier to calculate in a practical game. Okay, only move, check again, and check, and now the king can't move. Only move to move the pawn, and this is mate. So this is a very pretty variation with a trap and a kind of counter trap, and finally it's white who is winning. So to finish these traps, we must see what happens in the most popular defense. This is the Sicilian defense. The Sicilian defense is played in every level, from beginners to world champions. So you need to know how to play against it. In my last video, I explored the Grand Prix attack against the Sicilian, but here I will see what happens after the main move, knight to f3 and then d4. This is the open Sicilian. Here in this position, black has many moves, but the two most popular are the Najdorf variation with a6 and the dragon with g6. In the beginner level, the dragon is very important. It's perhaps the most popular Sicilian variation, as it gives black a clear plan to attack on the queen side. After g6, I recommend you to play the very tricky f4. This is the 11 fish variation. This will surprise a lot of opponents. In fact, the most natural move for black is to play bishop to c7, but this move is practically losing here. This seems very shocking, but it's the reality. After e5 takes and here the black knight doesn't have a good square to move. Black has many variations, but we can see the two more popular ones. The easier is knight to g4. Here, after bishop check. This check is very important, this variation. In many lines, this is a winning move. Black has no good defense here, because if he plays knight here, we can simply take, and white is winning a pawn. If the bishop blocks, then the bishop is pinned, so it's not defending the knight, so we can take the knight, and white is a piece up. Another move, blocking with the knight is also losing the knight on g4, and the only other move is to move the king, but simply check, and the queen is lost, and black can resign here. So knight to g4 is losing material. Knight to d5 seems more natural, putting the knight on the center of the board, but it also loses after again this check. And again, if black blocks, then the knight on d5 is lost. Also, if knight here, we can simply take the knight, and if knight here, again takes and white is winning. Everything is checked, the rook is hanging, the knight is hanging, it's a disaster. So after this check, the only move is to play here. White can simply play castle. White here has a very big development advantage. He has all his pieces ready to attack, while black's ones are almost all of them in the background. This is pretty awful. Just see all these pieces, they aren't doing anything. And the king is very bad placed. White is simply crushing. We can see some variations after bishop takes a pawn, but there are others move, but all of them are simply losing. This is losing to knight takes and bishop check, and the king has to go to there, and here black's king can move. This is pretty awful. So any check is checkmate. This is very important to know. Can you discover how to give mate here? You can pause the video and think about it. This is the last problem of the video. And yes, the very beautiful knight to f5 is crushing. White is threatening knight mate. This is mate. White is also threatening to take the queen, and there's also ideas of a background mate. So for example, if queen here, simply mate. This is easy. If black takes the queen, the simplest is to give mating 1. This is a very pretty variation. So black only move is to give check with the queen, also defending the 7 pawn. But after bishop to e3, white has many threats, threatening the queen, threatening background mate, and if queen here, simply check with the knight and rook mate. Okay, we have finished with these 5 traps. I hope you have enjoyed the video and that you have learned something. And okay, see you next Friday for more free video classes in the ichess.net YouTube channel. See you.